Okay, so we're here with Hsieh. Ethan is one of our facilitators for Virtuosity in Action. And we're just going to do a little series here, meeting with each of the facilitators and asking them some questions related to what they do, as well as the upcoming 4-day immersion that we're doing in Toronto. So, Ethan, why is it that you do what you do? Why do you like working with people? Do you like working with people?
Hmm. Like is not strong enough. I
Mm,
love working with people. And I mean that in the sense that there is something electric about watching somebody develop in front of you. Um, and to know in a deep way that there's like a significant contribution and impact to that development. Um, which is kind of weird. Like I'm like in my 30s. And so there's a way in which my worldview for a long time have been this place of I don't have an impact on individual people. I can impact my society or my or a collective or my country or my national identity or my art form. I'm an artist fundamentally, right? But actually there's something magical that happens in the relationship between people, whether it's one to one or in a small, like intimate group, even though I don't imagine that our group will be that intimate. It's like 30 people. But I think the way that we've structured it in such a way that, like, there'll be sort of one facilitator, maybe about 6 people, something like that kind of ratio. There's so much more attention that can be paid to, like, wow, this person is radically different in this one significant, very specific way
mhm,
from day one to day three. And it's like watching that process it is magical in a lot of ways.
mm,
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I can identify with some of that. So what do you think about this facilitation team getting to work with John and myself, Tataya and Kasha? Like, what comes up for you when we sort of lay that out? And Sarah, actually, John's partner is going to
Yeah.
be there in the mornings with us.
Yeah. So I'm a big superhero fan. Like I grew up Marvel comics. So it's like for me, this is kind of the Avengers. I'm not sure that John will be Captain Canada. That'd be really funny. It's a funny image. But I think the thing that I'm trying to point to there is there's so much diversity in the specialties that people bring and the perspectives that each one of these facilitators bring. That's incredibly unique. John brings like a deep rigor in the sciences, but also in the philosophy.
Mhm.
Sarah brings like, and this is when folks get to meet Sarah, they'll understand what I'm talking about. There's just a grace and an elegance about Sarah when she comes to a room that just like pops it like wide open. I remember the first time I met her, I was like, wow, John is not exaggerating. Like it's like a walking sun. Just like full of light. Right. And Tataya has like so much experience and embodiment, right? I come in more from like the play end of things, and Kasha brings a deep vulnerability, and you bring like, a ton of experience and like relational acuity
Mhm.
when you're interacting with people that like as a facilitator, it's a gift
Mhm.
because I can sit in a team and feel at home in what I can bring to the table. And as I mentioned earlier, the way in which my particular perspective might impact somebody in the room, and know that if there is a gap that needs to be covered by anybody else, oh, that's great, that's supported. There's an ease that comes with this team that I can feel like not hands off, but I can be like hands on, like light touch to let go and trust that it will be held and then come in when it's the right time. And I think that speaks a little bit to the virtuosity in the name of the program. So yeah,
Yeah, I
I
like
think
that.
that's
Yeah, it's almost like a virtuosity within the leadership team. I mean, one would hope that that's also being exemplified in some particular way. But yeah, yeah, I know I like that. I like that connection.
yeah.
Nice. So of course you've been part of the design for this program. How do you feel about this program? What comes up when you think about the program and getting to execute it?
Oh, it's so good. It's kind of it. So I don't want to overpromise anything, Okay, because I'm aware of that. I don't want to speak hyperbolically. So I'll try and be a little bit more conservative on that front. I think that it's it's challenging. I think that's one of the words that I would use. It's challenging. There's a velocity to the programming which ensures that we can go to depth without
Hmm.
drowning. And that's a very tough balance to strike, especially when there's like this team, which is interesting because when I think about the design, I'm not sure I would do that this same programming without this particular team that can sort of like hold that bottom pole. But the way that we've designed it, and we've had long conversations about this particular program, is that the arc needs to be really clear,
Hmm.
100%. That when we talk about virtuosity, what exactly do we mean? Like we as in like our team, which is not to say we have a definition of it,
Hmm.
but we have shared reality around the arc that we're trying to craft for people. I think people will find that the first day is already a nice setup, and it's kind of like turning the key in the ignition, going like, okay, let's prime it, let's prime it. The
Hmm.
second day is where that comes into like full gear and you drop in, and you can like you're probably gonna fumble a little bit, but find your place in that with support.
Hmm.
And then the third day is almost like shooting yourself through where you were before.
Hmm.
And that's like is my camera mirrored? Yeah. So it's kind of like think, huh, right? You're going in, it's like a roller coaster, but a good one. And I think it's in that sense, it's a real springboard and it's a launch pad into something greater. At
Hmm.
least I hope
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the way.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And the fourth day? How do you see the
Uh,
fourth day?
so the fourth day is I think that really depends on each individual.
Hmm.
And coming back to what I was saying earlier, everybody has their own sort of developmental trajectory. And some folks will carry on that lift all the way through. And this really depends on your individual constitution and how one is coming into the program. Some people might necessarily want to like, okay, that was awesome. I'm gonna go take a week next to a lake and figure out what that is. Great, right? And I think what we've planned on the fourth day is to really have like a landing place from which you can then sort of split off and do what you need to do to integrate whatever that was in the
Hmm.
past, 3 days, prior 3 days. Um, and I think this is not to be underestimated because the kind of deep contact that we'll have, like individual contact, folks who get to talk to us, talk to John, right? Like hang out with each other. It's not like exhaust you till the end of the day type
Hmm.
thing. There's a lot of contact there. Those moments can be like just as, if not more impactful than any exercise that we plan. And I think that speaks to the in-person nature of it.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, thanks. No, I think that's great. I think that's well said. Um, Anything else that you might want to say or share with anybody who might be watching this about the program or whatever's sort of here?
Hmm. Yeah, I think I'll do what's on brand for me, which is to sort of speak to the phenomenology of it. Like if you're reading the copy,
Hmm.
or you're on the page, and there's an experience of like an edginess of like, oh, like I'm not quite sure.
Hmm.
Like I feel like I can do some of it, but I'm also like if you can feel that tension, or like the front shoulder leaning in type thing, I think this program is for you
Hmm. Hmm.
because there's a way in which that's what the program is designed to do, designed to meet folks who are ready to kind of be at that edge and to go past it, right? And to find a footing beyond what was like perhaps maybe in front or a bit sort of blurry for folks. Like I want to really encourage folks that if you're in that place where it's not quite nah, but it's also not completely, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, like really wanting to, if you're in that place where it's like, I feel like it could, I would say to take that chance.
Hmm.
And that's what the program is designed to do.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I like the idea in some way, some aspect of it should scare you a little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Intimidate, maybe.
Yeah, intimidate. Well, just some part. It's just some part. There has to be something at risk, right? The more that there's something at risk, the more there's the potential of a benefit on the other end. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's where it matters. Like,
Hmm.
and I can speak to this a little bit, from my many years as an actor and as a performer. Like every show, I get a little bit nervous,
Hmm.
and I think the nerves is less about like a general anxiety of sort of a public activity,
Hmm.
but very very early on, I started to understand that my nervousness means that it means something to me.
Hmm.
The ambiguity tells me that I care.
Hmm.
And if I lean into it, I'll find out what I care about.
Hmm. Lovely. Okay. Well, thanks, Ethan.
Thank you, good sir.